Before we do the example problems, let's just revise all the formulas we have learned until now. The first formula we learned was Q is equal to N into E because charge is quantized. Do you remember? N is an integer. Next we learned current is equal to the rate of flow of charge. I is equal to Q by T. Then we learned potential is equal to work done by charge. Then we came to Ohm's law. We learned V is equal to IR. And finally we reached R is equal to rho L by A. Now coming to this question, how much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source? Voltage is 220 volt. If the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohms, resistance is 1200 ohms. So now how do we do this? V is equal to I into R. We have to use a formula from there. So V is equal to I into R. V is 220 is equal to I into 1200. I is equal to 220 divided by 1200. 0, 0 cancel. 2 11s are 2 60s are. 11 by 60 divided and get the value in amperes. So how much is it? You will get 0.18 amperes. Now let's go to question B. Question B. How much current will an electric heater coil draw from a 220 volt source? Voltage given is 220. If the resistance of the heater coil is 100 ohms, same method, V is equal to I into R. What is V? 220. What is I? We don't know, we have to find. What is R? 100. I is equal to 220 by 100. I is equal to 2.2 amperes. What do we observe in this problem? Look here. The voltage source is the same in both cases. But because the resistance changed, current also changed. Even though the battery used is the same. Understand this, 1200 ohms, high resistance. Current 0.18 amperes, low current. 100 ohms, resistance reduced. Current increased to 2.2 amperes. So I and R are inversely proportional. More the resistance, less the current. Example 12.4. The potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 60 volts. Understand this first. Electric heater, think you're using an electric heater or home. If you don't have one, think of an iron. Iron is also like a heater, right? So you're using an iron here and the battery used is 60 volts. It draws 4 amperes current from it. Carefully listen. What current would the heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volts? I am increasing this 60 to 120 volts. What is the new current they are asking? Did I change my heater? Did I change my heater? No. So please make a note, if you do not change the device you are using, that means what is resistance dependent on? Length, area, resistivity, temperature. So I did not change the length, I did not change the area, I didn't change the material, I didn't change the temperature of the room. Conclusion, I am not changing my device. If you are not changing your device, resistance remains same. Even though I am changing my voltage, did I change my heater? No. So in case 1 also they will have that will have same resistance. In case 2 also that will have same resistance itself. From case 1 I have I and I have V. Can I get resistance? Yes. When I go to case 2 I have V. I have the R from the previous case. Can I get I now? Yes. So how do we do this problem? Case 1, V is equal to 60 volts. Current given is 4 amperes. V is equal to I into R. What is V? 60. I is 4. R you have to find. R is 60 by 4, which is 15 ohms. Now, when I go to case 2, you can write here case 1 and case 2. When I go to case 2, will the R change? No, because the device is not changed, it's still the same device. R is equal to 15 ohms. Now, new V is 120 volts. What will be my new R? Use V is equal to I into R. So, what happens to V? 120 is equal to I into 15. I is equal to 120 by 15. How do we solve this? 5 3s are 5, 2s are 4s are 1s are 8s are. I is equal to 8 amperes. So the current, the new current is 8 amperes. Resistance of a metal wire of length 1 meter. It's given length is 1 meter at 20 degrees Celsius. If the diameter of the wire is 0.3 mm, diameter is 0.3 mm. First convert that to meters. How do we convert it to meters? Divided by m means milli. Milli means 10 power minus 3. We learnt it. So that is nothing but divide by 1000, or you can say 0.3 into 10 power minus 3 meters. Why have they given this diameter? From diameter you can find area. Agreed? First you find radius. What is radius? 0.3 by 2 into 10 power minus 3 meters, or 0.15 into 10 power minus 3 meters. From this we will find radius, area. Area is pi r square. Why? If you look at a wire, the wire is cylindrical here, so this is circle. Yes, the area is always a circle. So what is the area formula? Pi r square. Pi 22 by 7 or 3.14, use anything. R is 0.15 into 10 power minus 3. It's better to use 22 by 7 for more accuracy. So we shall also take 22 by 7 here. Multiply this and tell me the answer. So, check it out. So after solving this, you get this number here, 0.0707 into 10 power minus 6. I taught you that you have to represent it in scientific notation. That means the decimal should be after the first non-zero digit. Zero digit, don't put it there, non-zero digit. So into 2 you need there. So you're using 2 zeros. So this becomes 7.07 into 10 power minus 6 minus 2 minus 8 meter square. Now we have the area, we have the length. They've given resistance in the question is 26 ohms. You have to find the resistivity. See, what will be the resistivity of the metal at that temperature? Why are they saying that temperature? Because if temperature changes, resistance and resistivity both will change. That is just extra information. Using the table 12.2, predict the material of the wire. First we will get the resistivity, then we will predict it. So we have R equals 26 ohms here, we have the value of A. Okay, so now let's go for finding resistivity. So we now have the length, area and the resistance. We have to find the resistivity using the formula R is equal to rho L by A. What is, we want rho, rho is equal to R into A by L. Rho is equal to R is 26, A is 7.07 into 10 power minus 8 and L is 1. If you multiply these two, you will get 183.82 into 183.82 into 10 power minus 8. The decimal should be after the first non-zero digit. You are already 3 non-zero digits away. Move the decimal back to the first position. So you're going left. So it becomes 1.83 into 10 power minus 6. Why? If you move to the left, it's plus 2. If you move to the right, it's negative. So, ohm meter. Now, open table 12.2 all of you and check which material has 1.83 into 10 power minus 6 ohm meter. The second digit may vary a little. You will see that the material is I repeat, you don't have to by heart the row values. In the exam, if a question comes like this, they will give you a table or they will not ask you to predict the material. Next question. A 4 ohm resistance wire is doubled on it. See, the resistance of the wire was actually 4 ohm. It is doubled on it. Calculate the new resistance of the wire. Let us take R, whichever material is made up of. R is rho, length of the material is L of the wire and area is A. Now new case. All of you please observe. We are going to the new case. In the new case, it is doubled on it. If this is a wire and I double the wire on itself, see this is so long, it's so long. If I double the wire on itself and I join it, double meaning I double join and now I'll put new insulation outside. So all this becomes 1. What happens now? The length became half. The length became half. So did I change the material? This is new resistance. Did I change the material? No. So rho will be the same, but the length became half. L by 2 divided by, what happened to the area? If it's individually like this, it is, think this is the, it's only this much. If I combine these two, what happens to the area? It becomes into 2. So area has become 2A. Now what happens over here? Just, if you have an extra denominator on top or you have an extra denominator down, that number moves. 3 will go, 5 will go up. I hope you know that. So who's extra in this up part? 2. So 2 will go down. See what happens? R dash is equal to rho L, 2 will come down, 2 2s are 4 by 4A. Always do it like this whenever they give you doubled, tripled, elongated, cut into half. Always take R first, then take R dash and then take the ratio. R dash by R. What is R dash? Rho L by 4A. And what is R? Rho L by A. What happens now? Rho L, 4A will go down, 4A. Rho L, A will come up. A cancel, rho L cancelled. You have 1 by 4. You are left with 1 by 4. So R dash by R is 1 by 4. Do you want R dash, the new resistance? What is R dash? 1 by 4 into R. What is the new R? Old R is 4 given in the question. Cancel, cancel. R dash is 1 ohm. Sometimes they will not give you R equals 4. They will ask you what is the ratio of the new resistance to the old resistance. Then the answer would be ratio is 1:4. I hope this is clear. Page 209, question 1. On what factors does the resistance of a conductor depend on? We already discussed 4 factors: length, area, nature of material and temperature. You have to explain how, as we've discussed. Question 2. Will current flow more easily through a thick wire or a thin wire of the same material? Same material means rho is same. When connected to the same source, why? Resistance, only area is changing. Resistance is inversely proportional to area. More the area, less the resistance. So thick wire and thin wire, who has more area? Thick wire. Thick wire has more area. More area means what? Less resistance. Less resistance means more current can flow. Easy flow of current. More flow or easy flow of current. Therefore, your answer is, it will be easier to flow through a thick wire. You have to justify all this and write in words how it's come. Please use the notes for reference. Everything is given in detail in the notes section. Third question. Let the resistance of an electric component remain constant. Don't change the resistance. While the potential difference across the two ends of the component decrease to half its former value. Former means what? Previous. Before. So if you have a resistor here and you have some potential V, they are telling let the resistance be the same, but let the potential decrease to half its former value, V by 2. See the question. What change will occur in with the current through it? So here current, let's say this is I1 or I and I dash, anything you can take, and this is I2. Applying Ohm's law over here, V is equal to IR. V is equal to I1 into R. What is I1? V by R. Come here, applying Ohm's law, potential is V by 2 equal to I2 into R. What is I2? V by 2R. So they are asking what change will occur in the new current. Always take new by old ratio. I2 by I1. I2 is V by 2R and this is V by R. Observe carefully. VV cancels, RR cancels. I2 by I1 is equal to 1 by 2. Send the I1 up. So when I1 goes here, I2 is equal to I1 by 2. Therefore, the new current is the half of the old current or the former current. Why are coils of an electric toaster and electric iron made of an alloy rather than a pure metal? We just learned that alloys have higher resistance than its constituent metals. So alloys have more resistance than pure metals. Agreed? Yes, because they have higher resistance, they can generate more heat. How heat in specific we will understand much later. But for now understand, more the resistance, more the heat generated. And it is a heating device, so we want more heat. Next point, alloys have higher melting point than pure metals. So they don't melt so easily when the device is hot. Imagine if you are using your iron and because of the heat, the iron itself melts, the metal starts melting. We don't want that, right? Next, alloys do not oxidize easily. They don't corrode and become rusty, or the metals don't get spoiled, which is why these are the points for why we use alloys over metals. Fifth question, use the data in table 12.2. All of you please open 12.2 from your textbook. To answer the following, first question, which among iron and mercury is a better conductor? Better conductor means low resistance or high resistance? It's low. So better conductor means lower resistance or lower resistivity. So in the table 12.2, check who has lower resistivity. Is it iron or mercury? You can see iron has lower resistivity. Therefore, iron is a better conductor than mercury because it has lower resistivity. Next question, which material is the best conductor? Best conductor means lowest resistance because current should easily flow. Look at the table and see who has lowest resistivity. The answer is silver. So in the previous section we learned that if you take a wire and you double it on itself, area becomes into 2 and the length becomes half, divide by 2. So if you triple, area becomes 3A, length becomes L by 3. Now let us understand what happens if you expand it or you draw the wire. Draw the wire means, imagine like this, you have a clay. Think this is clay, okay, and this has some area and this has some length. Think like this. What happens now if you make the clay, you roll it like this and make it thinner. As you make it thinner, this will become longer. Do you agree? This will become longer. So if you keep making it thinner and you reduce the area to A by 2, you will see that the length is becoming 2 times the original length. Understand carefully. In the previous section, we doubled on itself, tripled on itself. That was area is increasing. A became 2A and 3A. Length was decreasing, division. Here it's ulta. I am expanding it or I am drawing the wire. So what is happening? Area is decreasing, length is increasing. If area decreases, length will increase. If length is increasing, area will decrease. Okay. So in this part, read this question carefully. Consider a wire having some resistance. What is the new resistance if the wire is drawn into a thinner wire having thrice its original length? So we have a wire here, original wire. Let's say R is equal to rho L by A. This same wire is made into a thinner wire of length thrice its original length, 3L. What will be area? A by 3. How do we do this problem? First you find the new resistance, let's call it R dash, rho, because I have not changed the material. L is nothing but 3L, area is nothing but A by 3. What happens? This 3 will go up, R dash is 9 rho L by A. We learned that we should always take R dash by R ratio. R dash by R is equal to 9 rho L by A divided by rho L by A. You will see that R dash by R is 9:1. If they ask ratio of new resistance to old resistance, 9:1. Old resistance to new resistance, 1:9. If they ask what is the new resistance, then send R up, 9 into R. New resistance is 9 times the old resistance. Next extra question. Out of X and Y, which wire has greater resistance? There are two wires X and Y here. Which wire has greater resistance? Please observe, this is length L, this is length 2L. Just like the previous question, we have increased the length. But observe here, area is not changing. Why? Because we are not taking this wire and drawing it into 2L. These are two separate wires that we have bought only. One we are buying length L and one we are buying 2L. In the previous question, we are taking that same wire and we are drawing it. Understand, this is not drawing. Only in the case of drawing or expanding, length and area both will change. When you double or triple itself, length and area both will change. But if you are making two separate wires, it is possible to make only length change or only area change. Understand the difference between this question and the previous question. It is important. So first this is for Rx. So we'll call this as Rx. What is Rx? Rho L by A. What is Ry? Rho, length is 2L by A. 2 rho L by A. Obviously Ry is greater than Rx. Why? In simple words, if you have to tell in 1 mark, more the length, more the resistance. This has more length, therefore Ry is greater, or you can derive it like this. Okay, let us all assume that now we are in a very, very cold country and we want to heat up the room. Let us assume we have heater 1 that is heating up the room, but it is not enough. So what do? You buy one more heater and you start heating up the room. One more person gets one more heater and you heat the room and now it's hot enough. Is it possible for you to buy one such heater who gives enough heat as all the three? That means these are all okay quality, the 3 heaters, and you're heating up the room. Is it possible for you to buy one heater that does the job of all the 3 and heat up the room? Yes, it is possible to buy one heater that does the work of all the 3 combined. This heater will be called as the equivalent heater. That means this one heater is doing the job that is equivalent to 3 people, 3 heaters. So similarly, we are now going to understand what happens with resistors. Resistance of a system of resistors. Imagine now, just like how we studied with the heater, here you have many resistors connected in a very complicated way, difficult. You don't know what to do or whatever. So now, is it possible to have a single resistor that gives you the same effect as all of them put together? Yes, it is possible. This single resistor is itself called effective resistance, total resistance, or equivalent resistance. All mean the same. So how do we define an equivalent resistance? It is the value of the single resistor who does the same combined effect, who gives the same combined effect as that of all the resistors combined together. Now what kind of connections will we be studying? We will be studying two types of connections, series connection and parallel connection. For example, if you have a pipe here and you connect it to one more pipe and then bring it down to another pipe, you can see the sizes of the pipes are changing. This is a series connection, meaning end to end, one point is common. This point is common for this pipe as well as this pipe. This point is common for this pipe as well as this pipe. So if they have one point in common, end to end, then it is called series combination. See, if I put three resistors, R1, R2, R3, and let's say this is A, B, C and D. B is their common point. C is their common point. They are connected from end to end. One end is connected to the other end of the other resistor. End to end. So this is how series connection looks. Now in parallel connection, they have two common points. That means this is connected between, let's say, A and B. Then your next resistor also is connected between A and B. Your next resistor is also connected between A and B. So all your resistors are connected between two same common points A and B. Here you don't have same common points. And see, R1, R2 share B. Does R2 and R3 share B? No. So I hope you understood how to recognize a series connection and a parallel connection. Now let's understand what happens to the current in a series connection and parallel connection. Imagine that there is water flowing. If there is water flowing in this, all the water entering pipe 1 will enter pipe 2. Do you agree? Or some will get vanished or more will come? No. Same water, whatever is entering pipe 1 will enter pipe 2. Whatever is entering pipe 2 will also enter pipe 3. Do you agree? Yes. Therefore, in this case, we can say that the current is the same. For all the three, you have same current I. I will flow here also, I will flow here also, I will flow here also. Now what happens to the potential? Okay, before that we'll finish current there. So now you have a pipe here, it's getting divided. You have a pipe here, it's getting divided into three different connections. If I have water entering this pipe, what happens? All the water entering here, some will go in this pipe, some will go in this pipe, some will go in this pipe, they will divide. Agreed? If this pipe is big, more current will go. So I1, I2, I3, they will divide. They will divide. But from there, if there are 10 liters here and 1 liter is going here, 1 liter is going here, remaining 8 will go here. Same current I is dividing into 3. So I is entering here, it is going here becoming I1, I2, I3 such that I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Why? Because the main current I is itself dividing. It is dividing into 3. So here I is same. There you don't have I1, I2, I3. There you have I equals I1 plus I2 plus I3. After they finish this, they come back and become I again. Let us now understand what happens to the potential. If you remember in the previous video, we learned that what is potential? If you have 2 points A and B, potential is defined as the work done in moving a unit positive charge from one point to another point. Does it depend on the path? No. If I go like this or I go like this, potential was still the same provided the 2 points were the same. A to B, if I am transferring this potential from A to B, I am doing some work, that potential let us call it V1. If I am doing, let's say I am now making the charge move from B to C. It may not be the same work, agreed, because the points are not the same. So this is V2. Now if I am going from C to D, that is again V3. If I am doing this much work to carry this pen from here to here and then here to here and then here to here, if I directly transfer from A to D, Can I say I can add up all the work? V1 plus V2 plus V3. So, what do we conclude? V divides. Here who divides? I divides. Let us see what happens to V in this case. Potential remains same between 2 points irrespective of the path. So if you are transferring your charge from this point to this point, or you are going through R2 or you are going through R3, you are still moving between the same 2 points. So the potential should be the same. So inside this also it's V only, inside this also it's V only, inside this also it's V only. I don't mean inside, across. You should always use across when you talk about potential. Across R1 also it's V only, across R2 also it's V only, across R3 also it's V only. So what do we conclude by this whole concept over here? In series connection, current remains same through all resistors, same current flows through them. But the potential divides. V divides into V1 plus V2 plus V3. In parallel combination, the current itself divides, but the potential remains same. Very important.